Is the low in for gold? Let's take a look at the positive and negative side to that. Of course, you will get silver and platinum too. This is your weekly precious metals price update and analysis brought to you by Ainslie Bullion and the Gold and Silver Standard. My name's Joe. Use the time codes below to go to your favorite metal. Here we are with gold on the daily time frame, currently priced in US dollars, 2022 USD, and we're using the tradingview.com website. Let's pop over quickly to x.com/Ainslie Bullion for yesterday's post. Gold closed last week just under a key trend line and has opened this week below it so far. 2015 seems to be a support line worth keeping an eye on. This is the image right here. So there's that trend line. We opened the new week underneath this trend line. So I was thinking that 2015, you can see pretty clear support around about there. That was an area that I would like to have seen to hold in order for me to say that, the low is potentially in for gold. But let's take a look at the live chart right now and put on our indicators, and you can see we did come down to that level pretty much bang on. Right here is around about 2016, 2015 dollars. So let's take a look at the negative case, and the negative case meaning, the low for gold for 2024 is not in yet. So that's the case I'm making right now, is because we are still below this trend line right here. Would really like to see that, and really need to see that break above and hold above, at least on a weekly time frame, in order for me to be more confident that the low for 2024 is in. That is the basic negative side at the moment, just under that trend line. Here is the positives so far, and we'll also talk about the low points. But the positives so far is we are above the $2,000 psychological threshold, I will call it right there. So we came right below, even though we did spike below this, we came down below this trend line. We have hit the psychological 2,000, or just above that $2,000 level. So that's on the positive side so far, again, because we did come down to, but not break through, this 2015 support level. That's also on the positive side. So I'm not going to give you a definitely going up from here, definitely going down from here, just giving you the lay of the land on either side. We are green for Tuesday, for today's date, 23rd of January 2024, but of course that remains to be seen. Hopefully, what we would love to see, and particularly if you've done all your buying hopefully at lower lows, we'd love to see this move up in the next couple of days and hold above, and again close the week above this trend line. So that would be the positive case. So I've given you the negative case, the fact that we are down below this trend line. Positive case so far is that we are above the $2,000 level, and we have yet to break down through this $2,015 level. Now, talking negatively again, if we do break down through this level, watch this little rectangular box area here. You could see a quick little scam fake out. Oh no, it's going down, it's heading down further, and then we have a quick little move back up. So that's around about between that 2015 to $2010 level, and that's based on this old resistance point right here going back to October of last year. But really, preferably, I need to see it hold above there. Just keep that little rectangular box in mind. But more likely than not, if we do break down through this 2015 level, we may be coming down, this is on the negative side again, coming down to my first low target for this year. Now, if you head back over to X, you can watch it on X if you like. It's the current pinned tweet, 2024 gold price forecast. I give you 3 prices moving lower and 2 prices moving higher, which I think are the most realistic low and high targets for gold for 2024. And this happens to be at 1,975 US dollars, my first low target, the most reasonable low target for 2024. So breaking through there, looks like we'd be making a play under 2,000. It's quite likely that, breaking down through here, that 2,000 would get taken out. I wouldn't see that as a double bottom. I don't see that as a double bottom personally. Again, just my opinion, not financial advice, any of this, of course. And I would see 1975 being a possible first low. So that is the negative side for why the lows may not be in just yet. But again, on the positive, not below the psychological value of 2000 and currently hovering above that 2015 level. To make it really positive, just need to see it break above this key trend line and hold above. And what you could really do, and I won't probably keep that as spike there as a point, I'll pop it right there. Really what you would want to see, really what you want to see is break above this trend line right here. So that is gold. Let's take a quick look at silver. Silver, I won't do other lows in for silver, etc. I'll just stick with that for gold for now. What we can take a look at here on silver is the fact that we are currently in this symmetrical triangle pattern. Can you see it right here? Taking from the high back in January of 2021 through this recent move back up to an attempt, and again a failed attempt, to break through the very infamous level of 26. If you're a new subscriber to the channel, I've talked about 26 US dollars for a very long time. I won't go into it again. You can watch previous videos if you like. Just know that it is a very key area of resistance that once again we did not break through. So that's why I'm going through that point here and that point here, and you can see this uptrend line right here forming a rough symmetrical triangle pattern. We're currently in that range. We're coming down to the bottom of the range, so really what I want to see, it's pretty obvious, I would like to see, and I'm going to assume we have a test, at least a test of this trend line once again. Where would the low point be? And we would want to see it hold as support, and if we don't see it hold as support, then we're heading down further. Technically, this is on the daily time frame. If we did it today, what would be the lowest point if we found support right there? You'd be looking at around about $21.65-68 roughly. If we do spend a couple more days ranging and then come back down, you could see it down to $21.80 US cents, for example. But this trend line needs to hold, in my humble opinion. If you disagree, post a comment below. I always want to hear your opinions on the chart analysis as well. If you have other tools that you like to use that you find more predictive, let me know as well. And if we do break down here, then we are heading down to my first realistic price target for silver for the year, and I'll put a link above now to the silver price forecast for 2024, and that's at this key Fibonacci level of $20, and it's roughly $20.50 to $20.70 US cents. So that would be the first target that I'd be looking for a bounce. If we don't bounce there, and we're certainly going to get another price analysis next week, so I don't think it's only going to take a week or so until we're down here. But just for future reference, if we break down through this $20.50, $20.70 area, then it's more likely that we start heading down to my next level, which is at $17.70. That's my second realistic price low for 2024. But let's see where we go from here. Definitely want to hold above. Now, I've talked about just before this symmetrical triangle pattern. It has to break out of the symmetrical triangle pattern, but it just really needs to break this $26 level. I've harped on about it for months and months and months, probably nigh on a year actually, or even longer. So we're not out of the woods yet for silver. That's the big hurdle that it needs to break over before we reach the final hurdle for me, which is right here at $31 it was, right here. That's the big bullish signal for me. Once we break, eventually, hopefully we do, we break that and hold as support, then I'm saying there is no more question, 100% silver bull run for the next months and possibly years ahead. It's got to break over this 26 and then break over the $31 mark. But right now, as I said, just at the bottom end of this symmetrical triangle pattern, got to hold above there. Watch for a test again between $21.65 to $21.80. If it holds as support, then if not, we're back down to this area right here at $20.50 to $20.70. That's pretty much your your analysis for silver. The other thing I'll mention is when we take a look at the daily relative strength index, we have gone from, if you can see right here down the bottom here, we have gone, this is when we had the failed attempt to break above $26. Oftentimes from a failed move comes a fast move in the opposite direction. We did top out here, so the relative strength index on the daily time frame went into overbought territory. So traditionally, that's where you can see some profit taking occurring. Of course, with the relative strength index on different time frames, you do go through periods of overbought, then back into oversold, and that generally, roughly, not always, but it tends to signify topping out targets and bottoming out targets, at least for that particular range. And take note that we are coming down into the oversold territory. We're not in extremely oversold, which is underneath this purple range right here, but we're coming down to there. So for example, if we did, it wouldn't shock me if we found support around this trend line and then started trending back up again, or potentially if we do go into oversold territory first before heading back up, then that's why I consider that $20.50 to $20.70 Fibonacci level, very key Fibonacci level, could be the place where you find the low. So that is that on the daily time frame. We'll take a look on the weekly time frame. On the weekly, you can see on the relative strength index down below, we are heading in the downward direction. But again, it doesn't mean you always have to visit this extremely oversold area before you have a move back up. You can see very clearly right here, and this is on the weekly time frame, see very clearly you can have a move to almost down to there and then back up again. So you don't always have to revisit it, but we are just currently trending down on the weekly time frame, so do take that into account. And on the monthly, let's take a quick look. We are trending down on the monthly time frame. We are 23rd of January, so around about 8 days out from the close of the month. What I'd really prefer to see is again closing the month of January just a spike below, so spike down to that $20.60, $20.70 area, and then that keeps as the support. And I will leave it at that. I won't say definitely higher or definitely lower from here. Those are the factors you need to consider for the silver price. That is silver. Let's go to platinum. Oh, platinum. So once again, for the new subscribers, right here we have this long-term downtrend line from February 2008. We have some key Fibonacci levels drawn in right here, which I'm using as my basis for low targets and high targets for 2024 and beyond. And we have the low target here. That's the low of the Fibonacci at $750. I've had this level drawn here of 840, a key support level. And on the monthly time frame, so go back to the weekly, just before the start of the year, we had this spike back above this trend line, but once again, it was a failed move to hold above for any significant period of time. So we're still within this range right here. Do take note. We're at currently $900 US roughly. Take note of this trend line right here, which goes through these two key significant lows, and we're in that range. And so I really want to see it hold this range. If we do that within the next, let's see, few days, if we had a little spike down in the next few days, you're talking around about 860 to around about that $860 US mark. But the first line in the sand for me is going to be this trend line breaking down. It's going to be this support level at 840. Want to see it hold above there, if not 840, and if we break down through 840, then I will be suggesting that we are heading all the way back down to $750 US. There doesn't seem to be a lot of space in between. The only other area that I would put would be this little area of support and this area of support right here. That's at 790, and that's actually a line that I've had drawn in previous videos going back 6 months or so. You can see support, support, support. So you could see a little move right there, but I would suggest that if we break through 840, probably heading down to that 750 US dollar mark, and we just need to break above this long-term downtrend line. So that's pretty much platinum for the moment. It's in a bit of a holding pattern at the moment. It gives us a lot of false hopes, and then and then back down. So until we break above And I would actually suggest, really, when you take a look, you really want to see it break above this shorter term downtrend line right here. But until we break above this longer term downtrend line from February 2008 and hold above for at least a couple of months, I'm just going to say we're just going up and down and up and down. Now, what you'll notice here with the symmetrical triangle pattern, this one right here, and this starts at February of 2021. Very clear symmetrical triangle pattern. You can see we're just currently trading within that range. So nothing significant is going to happen until we get probably closer to this apex of the corner right here. Prices never, ever, not that I've ever seen, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, they never get to the very corner of, well, you can't get to the very, very corner because that would be an infinitesimal move, but they don't even get really close. So they tend to come, so I would say around about, and we're just forward projecting here, and this is on the daily time frame. But if we were to just range in platinum for a good number of months, I would say you'd start to make a proper decision. Do we break down or do we break above by no later than, say, October of this year? But I think very likely we'll see a decision either way before October of this year, hopefully in the upward direction if you have done all your platinum buying or if you're dollar cost averaging. And I'll do a little sneaky, hopefully lower if you're looking to buy the big dips. If it heads down to 750, not financial advice, but that's somewhere where I would be looking at taking an extra position in platinum myself. So that is platinum for this week as well. We've done gold, we've done silver. Please head over to x.com/Ainslie Bullion to join us over there. And of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Join us on Facebook as well, facebook.com/Ainslie Bullion. For everything that you receive, you get your weekly specials on a Thursday, your Tuesday technical analysis, TA Tuesdays, and all the wonderful insights videos, interviews with prominent people in the industry about relevant topics to do with precious metals and the economy in general. That's your TA Tuesday analysis for this week. Please like, share, and subscribe. Balance your wealth in an unbalanced world. Take care, and we'll see you next time.